In a small, upscale restaurant in California, a young waitress found herself in an unforgettable situation when she unknowingly insulted none other than Clint Eastwood, one of Hollywood's most legendary actors and directors. But what she didn't realize was that she wasn't just speaking to a famous customer, she was addressing the owner of the very restaurant where she worked. What happened next left the entire staff speechless. The encounter. It was a regular evening at the restaurant, buzzing with customers enjoying their meals. A man in his 90s, dressed casually in a jacket and jeans, walked in quietly and took a seat in the corner of the restaurant. Despite his legendary status, Clint Eastwood preferred to go unnoticed, blending in with the crowd rather than drawing attention to himself. As he looked over the menu, a young waitress approached, appearing somewhat impatient. The restaurant had been training new staff, and she was among the newer hires. She didn't recognize the older gentleman in front of her and assumed he was just another diner. "Sir, we have a dress code here," she said bluntly, eyeing his casual attire. "Next time, you might want to dress more appropriately." Eastwood, known for his cool demeanor, both on and off the screen, simply chuckled. "Oh, didn't realize I had to dress up for my own place," he replied with a sly smile. The staff's reaction. Nearby staff members overheard the conversation, their faces turning pale. One of the senior waiters quickly pulled the young waitress aside and whispered, "Do you know who that is?" She shook her head, confused. "That's Clint Eastwood. He owns this restaurant." The color drained from her face as she slowly turned back toward Eastwood, who was still sitting calmly at his table, watching the situation unfold. Her immediate apology. Realizing her mistake, the waitress rushed back to his table. "Oh my gosh, Mr. Eastwood, I am so sorry." "I didn't recognize you," she stammered. "I didn't mean to be rude." Eastwood, with his signature smirk, simply nodded. "No worries," he said. "But maybe next time, think before you speak." The restaurant manager, who had also witnessed the exchange, decided to use this as a learning moment for the staff. Eastwood's surprising response. Instead of being angry or firing the waitress on the spot, Eastwood showed his true character. He chose kindness. He didn't ask for her to be punished, nor did he demand any special treatment. Instead, he finished his meal and even left a generous tip for the waitress. Later that evening, the manager pulled her aside and said, "You're lucky Clint Eastwood is as classy as he is. Let this be a lesson. Treat every customer with respect, because you never know who they might be." A lesson in humility. The young waitress learned a valuable lesson that day. Never judge a book by its cover, and always show respect, no matter who you're speaking to. Little did she know that the man she had just insulted wasn't just a customer, but one of the most legendary figures in Hollywood history. As for Clint Eastwood, he left the restaurant just as quietly as he had arrived, proving once again that true power doesn't need to be flaunted, it speaks for itself.